What is a weird flex you're proud of? I can squeeze my butt cheeks so tight it cracks my tailbone like cracking your knuckles. So I, white woman, was a preschool teacher, and every morning my female students would want me to do their hair like Elsa, braids. I had a black student. Let's call her Virtue. That saw this one day and would ask me to do hers like Elsa too. Virtue's hair was never up and always a bit of a mess. Well, I looked up tutorials and learned how to do a simple style on black 4C hair. Virtue was so happy to have her hair up like the other girls. Her mom runs over to me after the second day of this and demands to know how on earth I got Virtue to sit still without her killing me. Apparently Virtue had sensory issues with her head being touched and would essentially start kicking and biting and screaming at anyone who touched it. Except me. Apparently. She begged me to help with Virtue's hair again. So I, whitest girl in town, became her stylist. Her mom brought in all these products and I essentially demodded her hair over the course of an hour and would do it up. Virtue was totally chill the whole time. Eventually she grew out of the murder phase and her mom was able to do it herself again. But for a time, my weird flex was that this precious little girl only wanted me to do her hair. I wonder if she'll remember when she gets older how much we adults all cracked up about Miss Classic Does My Hair Right. At 62 I lost 400 pounds in 2.5 years. I swam the gap between Sicily and mainland Italy. I'm 35 now, so it's a flex just to not be on meth or an alcoholic. Opening beer bottles with my belly button. I can resemble the moo of a cow rather accurately with my voice. I once won gold at the Games Workshop Golden Demon painting competition. In the 90s. Quit straight away and never entered again. Go out on top. Edit. Since people have been asking. I'm a legally blind person. So I have residual vision. I can still walk around my apartment and find my stuff when there's a power outage using muscle memory. Edit. Had no idea it would blow up like this. I love the curious ones. I finished 3 chapsticks in a row without losing them. My YouTube account is blessed. I have not received an ad in over a decade. And I do not pay for premium. I don't use ad blockers. And I've tested it by adding my account to my friends' TVs and other devices. They get ads on their account. But I do not. Edit. Since this post is blowing up, I'll add something slightly NSFW. I also have full access to Pornhub Premium for free. At this point, I really do believe I've hacked the Matrix. My class was working on a short film together with professionals. And I was an editor. I got to work with the original editor of Lego Ninjago Season 1 to 3 on my class short film. This month I am going to be paying off my house. After 12 years of a 30-year mortgage. A zebra bit me in my left arm. While drinking a glass of whiskey and smoking a cigarette, I accidentally dropped my phone and somehow caught it on the tip of my foot. No one was there to see it happen. I'm proud as hell of that 1 in a million catch. I have survived a murder attempt and a run-in with a literal serial killer. I've never lost the I love you more game. One of my favorite composers responded to an email I sent him asking for feedback on a cover I did of one of his tracks. It was a lengthy and insightful response, and it really did make the 6 months of working on it all worthwhile. Edit. For those asking. It was Chris Christodoulou's The Rain, formerly known as Purple, which you can check out my cover of here. I can lose a remote that I had just searched for and found in under 30 seconds. I'm not an addict and my kid's 8 and has never been in foster care or involved with child protective services. I come from a long line of addicts and unruly white trash. And though I don't have a high-paying job, I do work and provide above and beyond what my parents ever did. Without government aid. Also 9 years sober from hard drugs. I broke the cycle. You are all so kind. Thank you. I forget how far I had to go to make it where I am, and I only posted here because to me, it is a weird flex. I don't know anyone in my personal life that is living a reasonably normal life trying to be the best parent possible that flexes breaking their generational trauma cycle. When my daughter was 3 years old, I found out she wasn't biologically mine. I left her mom but took her to court. She just turned 9 and we split custody 50-50. We've been in this scenario for 6 years and counting. It's the best decision I've ever made as she's an amazing kiddo. She needed a dad. And I was already dad. So why wouldn't it be that way? I taught her how to swim, how to ride a bike, how to ice skate, to read. I've never missed a day with her. I've been to every single parent-teacher conference. I take her to all her doctor's appointments. Very few people in my life know about the biology issue. Because honestly it's not really a big deal and I don't advertise it. But I'm proud of myself. She's turning into a wonderful, confident, caring and competent young lady. And I don't think that would have been the case without me. When she looks at me it's obvious that her eyes don't look like mine. But all the parts of her that really matter. And the thoughts behind those eyes. Are because of me. When things are going to shit around me. Or I'm stressed or scared. I look at her and know for a fact I got this one thing right. And I'm proud of that. Even if I'll never be recognized for it or get any credit for what I've done. I'm proud. I was Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2006. I have always wanted to be a biologist ever since I remembered. All my friends wanted to be footballers, astronauts, or YouTubers, and eventually had to give up, change their dreams to something more realistic. I have only one exam left to get my bachelor's degree in biology this month. And I'll start a master's degree in biotech in September. Undefeated 7- and 8-year-old Little League baseball coach. Especially proud because I was given what they thought was a castaway squad. Our tactics we non-conventional but we freaking crushed. Edit. For those asking about non-traditional tactics. Basically all plays are at first. We don't care if there is a runner on second, we are throwing the ball to first. Where we have our best catcher. We always were shifted away from third base to make the throw to first as easy as possible. You might get burned 1 to 2 times a game by a kid hitting it down the third baseline, but in general it was rare enough that defending third was a waste of a player. 95% of balls in play are going to be between shortstop and first because 7- and 8-year-olds are hitting for contact and do not know where they are going to hit it. So we packed those areas that give us the best chance for a play at first and went there every time. Also I found it benefited the team more to work with making our weaker players stronger and not focusing on our superstars. This allowed every kid to play more because your studs are going to be good no matter what and probably were getting extra work at home anyways. So I always focused on bringing the bottom players up to par with the rest of the squad, and I think that was ultimately the difference more than my janky defense. I can fart on command. After 30 years of being a couch potato I started running in my 50s. 11 months later did a half marathon in a decent time for someone half my age. I made a leather shoe a few days ago. It's rather tiny but kinda cool and wearable for gnomes. Edit. Wow. So much attention ha ha ha. I uploaded a picture on my profile. I'm 18 and not addicted to vaping. Edit. Happy yo see some of y'all trying to quit. My cursive handwriting is beautiful. Like something that came out of an old legal document from the 19th century. I get compliments about it all the time even though many young people can't read it. Tears of joy. Literally. Nobody cares. But it's certainly something I'm proud of. And I like it when people notice it. My mother had beautiful penmanship and actually worked as a calligraphist to make extra pocket money when she was in college, so I guess that's where I get it from. I can mimic the sounds of birds. Get all the birds in the area to start singing. And even get them to seek out the big bird. It's kind of funny to have them completely change their song when they realize I am not a bird. Almost screeching at me sometimes, especially catbirds. Edit. I really need to do a video. Hopefully will be nice day soon and before Reddit explodes itself. Not that weird, but I moved to the other side of the world on my own when I turned 18. I have a near perfect credit score. After not having one for some time. I'm cured, not just remission, of what could be considered the most aggressive type cancer known to man. Most aggressive is not to be confused with most deadly. Either way, I'm still alive bitches. I can turn my arm all the way around 360 degrees and I make some of best shrimp and grits you'll ever have. I finish 90% of video games that I start. Edit. Wow. Woke up to so many questions. So yeah, I have a system these days. 3 or 4 games at a time in a rotation. I get to add new games from my huge backlog to the rotation. Only if I finish the campaign of a game. To me this is finished. Not platinum trophy or equivalent. If it gets too stressful I lower the difficulty in the last level or boss. Better a finished game on easy than not finished at all. Honestly, the number may be a bit lower these days, after getting Switch and buying much more indies. But it used to be higher when I just played on PS. If a game do not draw me in first few hours, then I can delete or leave it. But if I play approximately 50% of a game, I have to finish it. Edit 2. By the way, last game I finished was Luigi's Mansion 3 on Sunday. King Boo was a pain of a last boss. I blame the aiming controls. Loved the game, but there were some really frustrating boss fights. This time last year I was hella suicidal. I lived. Bitch. I've been 3 months alcohol free. Not much, but I'm proud of it. Edit. Wow. I woke up to 28 notifications and nearly 1,000 upvotes. That's crazy. Thanks so much everyone. I don't think I've ever had such a huge smile on my face having just woken up as I did reading all your replies. I love you all. I was in Barry Manilow's backing choir for a few Wembley Arena dates. I'm not a baby daddy. 35 and my socks never came out unpaired out of the washing machine. I have a WinRAR license. I've been sober for exactly 1 year now. Down to the day. I designed a little puzzle and had it 3D printed. From my brain to a thing I can hold in my hand in a couple of weeks. A neat we live in the future moment. I went viral and got 1 million+ views on YouTube in 2007 for a silly rap about the Nintendo Wii I made out of boredom. Before that was a common thing. And before there were ads on YouTube. My video was featured on the front page of YT. On Attack of the Show. And at Nintendo's E3 press conference that year. And was one of the first 100 videos available on the iPhone, since iOS didn't support Flash Video at the time. And while I felt like the coolest kid in town and at my campus for a period, I made exactly $0 for it. I'm happy. Regardless of who's in, out my life. I can dunk. I have a low refractory period. Can basically start having sex again about 1 or 2 minutes after having an orgasm. Combined with a high libido and a big dick. And my GF is a happy camper. I strongly believe I'm one of the best Minesweeper players on this earth. Everyone ate and finished the food I brought to potluck. I'm a 32-yo female and never had a pregnancy scare. I walked from Mexico to Canada once. I can control my liquor intake better than I did before. I was rank 1 in the world in a meme game where you would buy stocks in Reddit posts. If they got traction, the value would go up and down, votes go down. The fact I was number 1 with such a big margin that the devs of the game asked me how I did it. Later became a Discord mod and got many ideas of mine implemented. That I know how to use your, and am a better than most TikTok users whose main language is English while mine isn't LMAO. Never broken a bone. Never been stung by a bee. Never been drunk or high. Haven't vomited in 28 years. Kind of a weird self-flex, but the fact that I've managed to come through my fucked up traumatic adulthood without killing myself is kind of a miracle. Edit. Wow. Upvotes. To everyone who resonates with this feeling. I'm rooting for you. I myself have dealt with some sudden deaths of people close to me and PTSD. And recently, after finally beginning to deal with all that have been beset by health problems, thanks COVID, which is difficult for me personally since working out has always been my therapy. Despite my parents not believing that I'd finish high school, I graduated high school, got my associates at my local community college, and am currently pursuing my bachelor's degree. I'm a first-gen Latina in a male-dominated field, but I got here without my parents' help and without them believing in me. I did it for me. And I'm proud of me. Edit. I didn't expect this amount of kindness from anyone, so thank you all very, very much for your kind and motivational words. And oh man. Thanks so much for the awards. I feel like I am the world's foremost authority on determining exact shades of color because I took the Japanese pearl color sorting test and scored perfectly. Wasp was coming at me. Flicked my finger and wrist for added momentum. Split him in two. Fatality. I once spat a wasp out of mid-air. I've been completely sober for 7 years after almost 15 years straight of complete binging heroin, opiates, and alcohol. I beat anorexia. My kid just graduated college summa cum laude at the age of 20. Iranian-American woman working a blue-collar manual labor job making multiple six figures with just an associate's degree. I figure I'm in some sort of 1% demographic. Probably. I survived 2 suicide attempts and a cocaine overdose. I'm clean after 8 years and have no intention of suicide. I've also learned to feel and understand my emotions, which is a huge deal to me as I can now participate in everyday life. 2 months clean of marijuana. Doesn't feel like flex though. Been addicted for years. Edit. Thanks you all for the support. Highest naked guy on British soil at one point. Got naked top of Ben Nevin for all of 30 seconds till the cold retracted everything into my stomach. Won $500 on a game of 9-ball on the break when I was in the army back in the 90s. It was 100% pure bullshit, but I acted like it was intentional. Never played a game while in the army again and had a major representative for being a billiards badass. Been on Reddit for 7+ YRS and never had a burner account or a top comment. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.